Hey, it's Dots of Love and Light. Sending you so much love and light today. I'm feeling it today, and so I'm sending it your way. Today, I wanted to talk about friends, or I guess not today, in this video. I wanted to talk about friends and friendships. Now, I've seen a lot of videos in the past where people often say that they don't have a lot of friends. I know when I was younger, I felt that way. I was like, I don't have a lot of friends. When am I going to make friends? Just I guess the stressor that can come with interacting with people and how close that relationship is. And yeah, in my younger days, I did feel like I didn't have any friends, but I realized more recently, now at 31, I'm like, wait a second, I have a lot of friends. And I particularly, at the summer after COVID, I was like, I want to go out. I want to experience, we've been inside. I loved it. But I also was ready to go back out once the world started to open back up slowly. And so I realized that the minute I put myself out there and I said I was interested, and someone would invite me to one place, I would say yes. So because I said yes, they would invite me again, and then they would invite me again and again. And then the same thing, because I would go to one event, I would meet maybe an old friend or an old acquaintance, or I'd meet a new person. And then they would say, oh, I'm doing this. Do you want to come? And then I would say yes. And then by saying yes, it just seems like I had the opportunity to constantly go out. And I felt like that summer, once we were all sort of back out and such, I had so many different things that I was involved in. Like my weekends were always booked, sometimes weekdays, just hanging out. And I've reeled it back in now because I said a lot of yeses during that point in my life. I'm getting a lot of invites now, and I'm now having to say no. So I realized that the invites have also decreased, which is great because that's what I'm looking for. So it's just that idea that the more I opened up myself and I told people what I was interested in, and I'd be like, I'm really looking to go out, just let me know next time y'all are hanging out. This is so much fun. I want to be there. And they would do that. And then now I've gone out of my way to also let people know that, look, I'm not in that period right now. I don't want to be out. I want to be back in with my family, with my daughter. I want to get some of my own ducks in a row. And if I'm interested in going back out again, I'll let you know. And I feel like people have been very have been very respectful of that, which has been awesome. Now, in terms of making these friends, I noticed how awesome it's been that I've pretty much, along the way, at each stage of my life, I've collected a few friends, a few people. And now when I look back, it's such a big group. So for example, in high school, I didn't have a lot of friends. I literally had one girl that I mostly hung out with. I made a video about this, but then over time, I had other people that I spoke to and that I talked to, but over time, I met a few more people and I connected with a few more people. So from high school, I've kept maybe 5 friends, 5 people that I'm yeah, I can probably call them up, and some of them I've seen over the years. I invited one to my baby shower. I've had, another friend over and they had a birthday party. They invited me to their party, and then I met other friends from high school. So I've kept, say, throughout all of my high school, which obviously had hundreds of students, I had let's say five people that I'm yeah, we're cool. We're friends. We're really, really cool. After high school, I went to university. From university, I can honestly say my roomies are my friends. Those are the individuals, because before I lived with them, we were not friends. They were just, a friend actually introduced me and said, oh, another friend of mine is looking for a roommate. Do you have anyone? If not, join us. And so that's how I met them, and now we're friends. And so again, I'd say there's about 5 of them that I would say we're friends. And those are just, again, the people that I some of them were at my wedding, that sort of thing. But there's other people outside of that group that are also really my friend, but we maybe don't interact as much. And then after university, I did a master's program. From there, I maybe picked up 2 friends, let's say. And of those 2 friends, again, now if you start to count, I have 5 from high school, 5 from university, 2 from my master's, 2 from my master's. It's adding up, right? It's really adding up. And on top of that, I didn't even mention this, but my church friends, I came to Canada My mom has been going to this church called Unity Church of Christ for like ever, like her entire stay here, well, my entire stay here. So that's like 20 plus years, 21, 22 years now that she's been going to that church. So I have friends from there as well. So let's say even if I had like 5, because you know, youth, some of them move away, let's say I have 5 from there as well. So, you know, 5, I'm using the number 5. It's a solid number. My master's was like a really small class. There was about 12 of us. And so from there, let's say I've kept 2. So yeah, like it's adding up, right? And then obviously I've had jobs. One of the things I've done is I've done a lot of, I've moved around at different companies. And so from all of these jobs, I've kept even like 3 friends. So I've had maybe, let's say, 7 jobs in the last 8 years, and that's a minimum. I had other jobs like while I was in school and volunteer and all that stuff. So from each job I've had about maybe like say 2 friends. And so the moral of the story is, from each stage of my life, from each event that I've gone to, and for a lot of people, even if you're just collecting 1 at each place, that would eventually add up to this big number where as your life progresses and as you meet more and more people, as long as you remain open and essentially inform them that you're interested in any sort of relationship, that can come your way. And that has been my experience. And that's why when people, you know, make videos saying, I don't have friends, I don't want friends, friends are this, friends are that, I'm like, I've had a really positive relationship with people. It hasn't always been, it's not perfect, you know, it's not perfect. Still, I've met some of the most amazing people that have impacted me in ways that like is beyond words. And these people have come to me at different stages, probably when I needed them the most. And so it's that idea that if maybe you're feeling the same way, that be patient, especially if you're younger and especially if you're older as well. Like, it's never too late to go to a new place and do something new. I started rollerblading. I don't have like rollerblading friends, but every time I go rollerblading, the people, it seems like there's like different communities just scattered all over the world. The people that are there rollerblading as well, they would just nod like a good hello or a smile or a like, you know, just like, I see you. Like, it doesn't have to be a communication. I started maybe about a year, maybe 2 ago. Like, I would just do it on and off. And every time I go to this particular location, it's like you just meet people and they just send you a positive energy that I recognize you and I see that you're doing something that a lot of other people are not doing. Because at a park, maybe there's about 4 of us that are rollerblading together. So naturally, you bump into each other one way or another. And so it's the idea that if you're looking for people or if you're looking to make relationships, it's there, it exists, and you can have that for yourself. And if you haven't had it in all the different situations and stages you've had, maybe put yourself in a new stage, in a new space where you can have the opportunity to meet these people. But something to keep in mind is, at least that I remind myself, is that really there's no one here. I'm the only one here. There's really even no me, wink. There's no one here. There's like, when we talk about friends, what friends? Everyone is a reflection of the one. Everyone is a reflection of the sameness. So there's really no one here. And so it's easy to really find yourself in others because everyone is just like me at the end of the day, and me is nothing. And so I don't see friends as a negative thing, and I don't see friends as a bad thing. And honestly, sometimes I don't even interact with them that often, only when opportunity presents itself, or when we have the opportunity to celebrate with each other, or when we need assistance, and so on and so forth. So I've found that people are awesome. I've seen that throughout a spiritual journey, you can sometimes lose people, but I found it to be the opposite. I've found myself to be more forgiving, more understanding, and more like I'm more ready to love and hug everyone else that, you know, I've met along the way. And some people I thought, I don't like you, I don't want to be your friend, but I've found ways to really love them and bring them in and hug them. And there are people that I've known for so long and that, you know, we didn't always have a good relationship, and now I've really accepted them in a way that, you know, has made me closer to them. And it doesn't mean that we have to be best friends or we have to hang out all the time, but just that natural thing of I'm loving and forgiving myself, and I'm allowing myself to do that for others as well, and even the people that can hurt you sometimes, because sometimes I hurt people. Like, it's easy to say that person is not cool and I don't like that person, but it's like, oh yeah, I'm human and I'm not perfect, and there's things that I do that certain people would just really not want to put up with as well. And in recognizing my imperfection, which is what makes me perfect, I'm recognizing other people's imperfection and how it makes them perfect as well. And it's awesome and it's beautiful. And I have the opportunity to allow them to be as close or as far as I want from me. But that doesn't mean that I don't see them in a light that God would. I still get so emotional thinking of all the love that exists in this world and how I still can't even grasp this love. Like I often think about it. I had an issue with a roommate once when I was doing my master's. I say doing my master's because I don't really remember the year or the age and all that stuff. It's just like there's university stage, there's master's stage, and then like sometimes I remember it by jobs too. Like, oh, when I was at this job and that job, really didn't like this roommate. But then I realized I may not like this roommate, but she has a grandma somewhere. She has a mom somewhere. She has a sister or brother or friend that just adores her, that like wants the very best for her. And so in recognizing that maybe we don't get along so well, but there's someone that loves her, and therefore there are many redeemable qualities about her, that helped me calm down, because I really was like because I really just didn't like her. But then by recognizing that, I realized I don't even have to like you, but there's someone out there who does, and that's good enough, and I'm happy for you to experience that. But over time I was able to like her for just existing, and I think that's something else too, just loving someone just because they exist. It doesn't have to be much more than that. It doesn't have to be much less than that. You exist, so therefore you deserve love. And if I don't like you and I treat you mean, how will you really find your way back to love if you're constantly getting like all that hate? So yeah, that's a fun process for me and my thought process when it comes to people and loving people and meeting new people and being friends with new people. There's too many people out there saying, I want friends, for me to say that, friends don't exist. And of course, you can also have your solo time too, and I appreciate that. And I think a season of that will come for me too, where I'm just like, I'm by myself, I'm solo, I'm keeping my circle very small. And then there's a time where I want to expand my circle as well. It feels like breathing. Expand the circle, decrease the circle. Expand the circle, decrease the circle. But always there is love in people.